Hey everyone, welcome to Birds of a Feather. Today we're working on a little project for my husband's man cave slash workshop. Color outside the lines. We're going to be building a standing pegboard for his tools.
The idea here is we want to build a movable pegboard. I don't want to screw it to the wall. I have this kit of all my tools, which I leave in this spot here. So I'm trying to design a pegboard that sits in this space, custom made to fit in this space, coming up about 4 feet. I only have about 16 inches wide. I normally store my big kit of portable tools here, so I started working with black pipe, thinking I could design something with black pipe that comes up and I can hook a pegboard onto it, and this would sit on a piece of wood mounted to the bottom. The problem with black pipe, when you're trying to join a piece like this, you can't spin it into one and then spin it into the second side easily. Black pipe's a little bit wonky in the small sizes. It's a little bit unstable. It's hard to screw it all together, get it even. So I decided to go with copper pipes that's used for plumbing. You don't have to braze it. You can use epoxy, 5-minute epoxy to join the pieces. So we're going to make it out of this material. The idea is we would have a freestanding one that this could sit on a piece of wood on the bottom. It'll come up here, about 4 feet high. We'll attach the pegboard onto here so I can put a small amount of tools here, and my portable tool kit can sit here. I can still lift the portable kit away.
When you're using copper piping for crafts, I find the easiest way to get it clean is with a little bit of vinegar and salt combined. This is the before. This piece looked exactly like this when I started. I essentially just poured a little bit into a dish here. I'm not going to use much, this is just a small piece. And I literally just took a piece of paper towel. I'm just dipping it in so it's wet. I'm going to pour some salt right onto it, make sure that's good and soaked. And then you just apply it and rub away. Now, this doesn't happen in 2 seconds. It's a process of just rubbing, and as you rub away, you'll notice that your cloth becomes green, and that's the tarnish of the copper. Copper turns this beautiful green patina. This isn't so beautiful, this is just black, but if you leave it 100 years, that's what you get. And you'll see it coming off on your cloth here. So this piece is taking quite a while to come up. In the meantime, I also have this Brasso product. Let's give this a try. I'm just going to shake this up. We'll see how long this takes. I'm going to do it on paper towel also. You probably should use a cotton cloth. As you can see, that really it does lift the tarnish, but it does dry quickly, and then you have to reapply it. I have a feeling that a combination of these two things, like some kind of a polish to get the bulk of the tarnish off, and then coming in with the salt and vinegar mixture to finish, is probably best, because this tarnish really is really heavy and it's going to take a lot of scrubbing to get it. Comparatively, let's just see what happens when I take some of this on here. So that really does shine it up. So I think that the best course of action is just a 2-pronged approach. Some kind of a polish to lift the really heavy tarnish, and then salt and vinegar to finish the polishing. And that really does bring up the shine, as you can see. So I'm not going to continue with this. This is just going to take too long. I'm going to try a little bit of Brasso, finish off as I showed you with the salt and vinegar. So to finish off, I'm going to take some water on a cloth just to get off that vinegar smell, and then I'll wipe it dry. To keep it tarnish free, we're going to use some Trim Clear to seal it.
Okay, so we've cut our first piece of pipe, and I found 2 things. The little cutting disc on this was used and it was not cutting too well, but when you buy these, they usually come with a spare cutting disc in the handle. And this just pries off, and there it is. thing I'm going to do is change that.
We didn't even realize that there was an extra blade in the handle until I checked one of mine, and then I saw in the package that it comes with an extra blade, and we're thinking, well, where can it be? It's not in the packaging. So that's when my husband checked the handle, and lo and behold, there it was.
There it is. Okay, we changed that. The other thing we found is really hard to grip onto this, especially if you have a short piece. It was hard to hold that and spin this. So if you have some of this shelf liner at home, it's like a silicone material that you put on the bottom of a drawer to make it a little non-slip. You can just take a piece of that and cut it and wrap it around and hold that with your hand. So we'll just cut a little piece and see how that goes. So this time we'll be holding it like this. We'll see if it feels like it's going to grip it a bit better. So again, we want 14.5 inches. There. Slip this onto here. And we're going to line up the little cutter with our mark, tightening this up so it's right on the mark. And we're going to try and grip this, see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. Much better.
So whenever the blade becomes dull, just remember to get a fresh blade and it'll cut much easier and quicker.
Oops.
There you go.
There we go.
Just
Much
a few
easier than
turns.
last time, and the non-slip silicone helped me grip this really well. So there, we have our second piece.
That was less than half the time of the last one.
Yes, it's very quick.
Okay, so out to the garage, and we're going to be cutting pieces.
Three
we're not
more
going to
pieces.
record that, but next time we're back, we're going to be assembling. Here's an overview of what we have so far. We've got 5 of our side pieces cut. That piece of pegboard there is just a sample. Of course, we're going to cut a much bigger piece when we get to the real project. We've got 5-minute epoxy that we're going to be using to stick everything together, and that's so that we have some open time to move things exactly where we want them. Then we've got 4 elbows, 2 caps, we've got copper clamps, and then we've got 8 of the T's so that we can create the intersections. Then we also have a few screws here, we've got brass, and then we're capping them on the other side with nuts. And that's way up so far. So now we're going to cut our uprights and we're going to be ready to build.
Okay.
So we're measuring for the sides right now, and we've got our gap here. We've tested out our bin, and we're going to cut the piece to about 8.5 inches.
We need 7.5, but a ½ inch on either side to slip into the fitting, so that would be 8.5. And that will give us 12 inches from that fitting to the front, which is perfect because this is 11 inches.
So that's the box we're trying to fit.
Give us an inch clearance. And this is all just loose fitted right now. You can, it's not glued, so you can fit everything and test it. Make sure everything's how you want it.
For more upcycle ideas, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for upcoming projects.